Welcome to Spoken Reviews, home of the Spoken Reviews. Today, guys, we're going to go over the winter range of the Mach. So, guys, for this test, I actually went ahead and charged 100%. I normally don't do this. I don't recommend doing this at all, but I want to see the real range. So this will be probably only the second or third time this vehicle's actually been charged 100%. Typically, what I do is I just keep it at 90% each day. I know some people do 80%, but I'm a 90% each day person. For the most part, sometimes I will go like 3 or 4 days without charging at all. I'll let it drop. So if I'm just around town, I won't charge it every day. But for the most part, when it does get charged, I have the limit set at 90%. So let's hop inside and see what range we are showing. All right. So yeah, actually, pretty impressive. So it's sitting at 99% currently. We are showing 184 miles, which is really good. Now I will note that today it's a little warmer. We're all the way up to 60 degrees. So this week in Texas, we actually spent, for the most part, the entire week freezing with ice. So typically when it's cold, my 90% charge is right about 156. So when it's cold, my real charge is probably 174, but now that it's a little warmer today, I am sitting at 184, which is really good. All right, guys, so let's have this conversation about the difference between the Mach Ford versus other companies and the battery. One thing that I will say about the Ford in my experience, and this is not just my personal experience, but you'll see similar feedback from people and the blogs, on Reddit, on Twitter, and from personal experience. Ford is good about having a really accurate estimate. So when the Ford says 184 miles of range, you're going to get 184 miles of range. They're pretty transparent. Now this is a lot lower than the EPA rated range. But I do, drive fairly aggressive. So the EPA rated miles range for this vehicle is actually, I think, 247 for the standard battery. And I can tell you that I've never seen 247 on this vehicle. The most I've ever seen when I first got the vehicle in September, October, something like that. But the most I've ever seen is basically the most that I've ever seen is like maybe 210, 220 on the estimate. So again, never once have I seen the 247 with the EPA, but the most I've ever seen is 220. And now that it's wintertime, you can see my winter range is about 183, 184 at 100%, but at 90%, I'm, going to be about 170, 165. But when it's really, really cold, and Texas cold is like 28 degrees, the most I've seen is probably like around like the 146s. So guys, again, now coming from a Tesla owner, so I've had the Model 3 in 2019 and 2020, had that for about a year and a half, and then I had the Model Y for about 4 or 5 months. So I got about 2 years under my belt of Tesla driving, and I can tell you that one of my issues with Tesla, and it's not just my issue, it's a lot of people's issue with Tesla, is the overstated range on the odometer and the reality. So for example, my standard range EPA rated Model Y was EPA rated for like 279, and it would actually read, 100% close to 279. It might read like 277, right? But in the reality, I knew that once I was driving on a road trip, that the reality that I knew that I wasn't going to get more than 220, maybe 230. That was the reality, right? So it's a big difference in how they choose to program the vehicles. My preference is the way that Ford does it, where they, just kind of flat out give you the lower estimate, right? That way you kind of know what you're working with. You can kind of guess, okay, I'm going, from here to Waco, right? 90 miles. Okay, it's saying 183. All right, I'm good to go. I'll be in Waco with half the battery. Versus the Tesla, it would say 277. Waco's 90 miles, but when I get there, I've used 140 miles of battery. So yeah, it's just personal preference there. Alright guys, so now that I'm all the way at 99%, I'm over here trying to burn some battery, so you guys can kind of see some of the speed. I'm just kind of making some loops, getting on and off the feeder. I'm trying to get it down to like 95. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the standard range, the performance and the speed. I know the 0 to 60 I think on paper is like 5.5 or something like that, but it feels faster. But then also the way the settings are with unbridled, with the sound. I know it's cheesy that it's like, pushing in the fake sound into the vehicle. Like, trust me, it is cheesy, but it does give you just a sense of speed, right? It feels like oh, you're really going. And I mean, you can make the tires squeak, right? So I will say that it's a fun vehicle. It's definitely a fun vehicle, and we're definitely enjoying it, especially for the price. I think you do get a lot of car for your price, and now that they've lowered the price, you're getting even more bang for your buck. All right guys, just to recap, winter range when it's cold in the 20s and 30s, full battery charge, expect to be in the the 150s. Winter range when it's a little bit warmer on days when it's like 50s and 60s, expect to get in the 184. And then also for summer range, when it's warmer outside, expect to be closer to the 220, but you're never going to get the 247 that the EPA rates it, especially when you're going at highway speeds or if you're driving quickly. Anyways, thank you for watching this quick video on the true range of the standard Mach E rear-wheel drive. Hopefully you liked the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up for me. If you want to see more videos like it, sub to the channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks a lot and have a great day.